Hello everyone, Mr. Fawcett here, and we are back with another Algebra 1 lesson. We've just had 3 videos where we've talked about how to graph lines. We've talked about slope-intercept form, point-slope form, and standard form. Today we're going to talk about 2 types of lines that we haven't done before, horizontal and vertical lines. And we're going to look at how the equations of those are different from any of the ones that we've seen before. This will be hopefully a rather short lesson, but it is important because these questions do pop up every now and then. To start off, you're going to label 3 points on each line. We have a horizontal line on the left, we have a vertical line on the right. Label 3 points with their coordinates and see if you notice a pattern. All right, so I just labeled 3 points to save a bit of time with the video. On the left, I have -4, 1, -1, 1, and 3, 1. And on the right, for the vertical line, I have 3, 4, 3, 1, and 3, -3. So regardless of whether you chose the same 3 points or 3 different ones, we should probably be able to notice the same pattern, right? If we're talking about the horizontal line, right, let's actually do it in the same color, red. The x coordinates are all different, but all the y coordinates are equal to 1. If I look at the vertical line, all the x coordinates are the same. The y coordinates are all different. And all the x coordinates are equal to 3. So this is essentially how we come up with the equations of horizontal and vertical lines. If I'm looking at the horizontal line, right, it doesn't matter what the x coordinate's going to be, right? I can choose any x coordinate I want, and the y coordinate is always going to be equal to 1, which is the equation of that line, y equals 1. We don't need an x in the equation because the x value doesn't matter, right? As long as y is equal to 1, you can choose whatever x value you want. Same idea with the vertical line, just flip-flopped, right? I can have whatever y value I want. My x value is always going to be equal to 3. So I don't need a y in my equation, right? As long as my x value is 3, you can choose whatever y value you want, and it's going to be a point on the line. So in short, this is essentially today's entire lesson, right? The equation of a horizontal line will always be y equals a number, and the equation of a vertical line will always be x equals a number. And if you ever forget, right, because a lot of times students forget, they're like, oh, is the horizontal line y equals or x equals? Well, to figure that out, you can do exactly what we started off today's lesson by. You can just label a few points on the line and see which coordinates have the same value. Let's go put this in a bit more formal terms. We'll do some quick practice problems and then we'll be done. So for horizontal lines, the y values for horizontal lines are always the same. Thus, the equation for a horizontal line is y equals a, and a is going to be that value that's the same for all of the points, right? Just like in our example on the left from up above. For vertical lines, the x values are always the same, and the equation is going to look like x equals a, where a is that number that is the same for each x coordinate. So let's do a couple of practice problems. This time you're going to be graphing the lines. So here we have y is equal to 5. So we need to think, okay, does this represent a horizontal or a vertical line? Well, you could test both out, right? You could test, okay, let's test a vertical line. So I'll go to 5. And you could put some points on here. We have 5, 3, We have 5 comma negative 2, right? But you quickly see that it's the x values that are the same for a vertical line. So you'd be like, okay, I know that's not the correct line. It must be a horizontal line. So I find y equals 5, right? And I can just pick some points to be sure. Here's 3 comma 5. Let's pick a negative x value over here. Here's negative 5 comma 5. And we can see that all of the y values are equal to 5. So this is correct. The horizontal line is what we needed. Now we have x is equal to negative 3. Well, we just showed that y equals 5 is a horizontal line, so we know that this one's going to be vertical. But we're going to test some points to make sure. So I have negative 3 comma 2, and I have negative 3 comma negative 3. And you can tell that the x values are always the same, right? Negative 3. Now you do need to check more than one point, right? Because let's say you just checked this point. Well, both the x and the y were equal to negative 3, so it wouldn't tell you whether you were correct or not. But as soon as you check another point right here, right, you see that it's the x-coordinate that stays negative 3, while the y-coordinate is the one that's changing. Okay. Now we're going to go the opposite way. You need to come up with the equation of both of these lines. So again, pause the video for 60 to 90 seconds. Go ahead and see if you can come up with these equations. Okay, so hopefully we didn't guess. If we, again, were unsure, we either looked back up at our notes, or even better, we chose 2 points to see which values, which coordinates were staying the same. So here's a point that's negative 1 comma 4. Now again, 1 point doesn't tell us anything. We need 2 points to see which coordinates stay the same. And I get negative 1 comma negative 3 down here. So the x values are the ones that are staying the same. The x values are negative 1, so the equation of this line is x is equal to negative 1. If I come over here, I choose 2 points. I get 3 comma 4. Just do a negative value over here. You don't have to. You could do 2 positive values, of course. I get negative 3 comma 4. So the x values are changing. The y values are staying the same. So this becomes y equals 4. All right, so that is going to take us to the end of this lesson. While this concept seems straightforward, the only way students really mess questions with horizontal and vertical lines up is if they guess, right? If they forget whether it's supposed to be x equals or y equals, they'll just take a guess rather than plotting 2 points and seeing which coordinates stay the same. If you plot the 2 points, very easy to understand whether it's supposed to be x equals or y equals, so just take the extra 30 seconds to do it. All right, as always, enjoy the rest of your day, and I will look forward to seeing you next time.